So once your movie finishes rendering, you will see something like this. And these are settings for changing the compression. I don't change these. I leave it at H.264. You might check it just to make sure and leave it at high. If you needed to send something to someone online, which you probably won't do, you could change it here. I don't even know what these do. I wouldn't do any of those. Wouldn't do any filters. And you can change the size here. So if you had to make something smaller, you could do it in this window. Again, I don't usually do that. I usually use the default settings. There's no sound to worry about. Click OK, and it will write the movie and open it for you. And it should look like this. Right? Let's see if our animated color lookup table works. It didn't used to work. I was hoping that it would work in future editions. Let's see here. Okay, it didn't seem to take, so it may not work. So you don't have to worry about animating the color lookup tables. In other words, change the view and the cropping, but you don't need to adjust these. I don't think those settings are going to take. Maybe one day we'll have the ability to do that, but right now we don't. You could now go back and modify this by deleting certain keyframes and re-adding them, but generally I just make a new movie every time I do it. If you wanted to export a QTVR, if you wanted to export a QTVR, you could do it here, and you can set this one takes the longest, but will yield the best quality, most number of frames, all of that. Okay, and again, you would give it a name and save it. Remember, nothing you do in here is permanent. You're not allowed to alter the data. So if you accidentally delete something like this, right, with the scissor tool, you can always get it back by going to Format, Revert Series, and that should do it. Okay, I think that's a fair basic introduction for Osirix, and I will try to make some show you some of the other modalities. I'll show you one right now, which is the 3D endoscopy. The way this works is it basically creates, it shows you your 3 different sections, and it allows you to place the crosshairs wherever you want the camera to be. So this camera right now is inside the oropharynx, right? So if we go farther down, we could position it in the esophagus, and we could turn this little red thing and get it angled. Wherever you click is where it's going to position it, and we could look up like this. So those are the vocal cords, and we're in the trachea looking up. If you make a movie, this is the one that's going to be rendered. And the way you make a movie, I'll show you this, is you would do fly through, click a keyframe, change your zoom. You can position your camera 2 ways. One is to click and drag, which is a pan function, and the other is to click command to get the hand tool, and then you can move your camera left and right. And you can set a keyframe. This isn't the best one. There's another data set which has lungs in it, which might be more interesting for you to do. But now we could go through and save that movie, give it 90 frames, click compute, and it would go through and play the movie for us. Okay, we would save it, so you click stop. That's if you want to play it and see it in real time. Now you could click save, and it would save it, and you could call it Airways Movie, right, and play it, and it would go through and render the movie we just made. Again, it's going to do it based on this view. I'm not really sure how useful this is, but it certainly is interesting. It gives me a good idea of the anatomy in that area. Okay, so I think that's enough for a basic Photoshop, basic Osirix demo, and I'll give you the rest of the class assignments when we're all together. Thanks.